Hello and welcome to Let's Talk Stupid. I'm Compound.
And I'm Proud, and today's episode is Compound Will Be Stupid. Yay!
Yay! Okay, so as Proud has mentioned on the last episode, that we will take turn into doing each other's episode to kind of make the imperfect perfect this time, because our first episode was very far from perfect, right?
Yes.
And probably will this episode also be imperfect, but I think we'll get better.
Yes, of course. I hope it will be a little more pleasant to listen to. And so the structure of this episode will be quite different from other episodes, but will be similar to the last one, which was my episode. So we'll divide it into 3 sections, and it will be chronological, and so that you guys can follow it. And should we jump right into it? So let's start our journey at the very beginning. Even before
Yay.
The life of a little girl called Compounds was born. So I wonder do you think there was a possible turn in your life that could have changed the course of what it is, even before you were born? Do you think there was any?
Yeah, of course. Before I was born, my parents were kind of talking about moving to New Zealand.
Wow.
Yeah, right? And the point is, I believe that 20 years before now, 20 years ago, it was very cheap. You can just pay a small amount of money and then become a New Zealand citizen and work there, because they were kind of in need of a citizen, but I'm not sure about the law stuff, but my parents told me later. Yeah, I could have a shot at being in New Zealand, but I stuck here, so
oh wow. Was that time was it the time that your sister already born, or
no,
even before that?
Even before that, they were deciding to have a child and moving to New Zealand. But my father said that he wanted to stay here because he loved Thailand, especially Thai food, and he don't think he can adjust with any foreign food. So, yeah.
What a loss of opportunity. But if you were in New Zealand, then we wouldn't have met.
Well, I'll be willing to trade almost everything for that, because seeing Thailand right now. Right.
Let's not comment on that.
Yeah. Let's just keep it bright. But on the more serious note, though, maybe it worked out the way it is, because if I'm in New Zealand, then, well, I honestly don't know what will happen. Maybe my life would be better, but what's the point of considering it when you can't even alter it? So yeah.
Sure. That's interesting. That's definitely unique. I've never heard of those stories before. Do you have any birth stories you want to share with us?
Oh yeah, well actually, as a child I always felt like I was the special person, because mostly because my birthday was on the 5th of the 5th, the 5th day of the 5th month in the year. So I feel God must have loved me so much. Well, it was ridiculous, but it's true, until I found out that a large amount of people also have the same birthday as me. So it kind of ruined my confidence a little bit when I was in kindergarten. And I hate everybody who had the same birthday as me, but it kind of fade away later. Yeah.
Oh, but to be honest, I find it fascinating about birthdays as well. There's a website that I really like to visit. It's called Day of the Year. They basically list out all the events in that year, whether it's friendship months or whatever in your birthday, and I think that is cute. And I looked up at it a lot. My birthday was something pie festival or Slytherin Day or something. I couldn't remember, but it's funny.
The interesting thing about like birthday is that in Thai we have like tradition that we would name a kid after their birthday, right?
Yeah.
Like Monday, you got like these specific sets of name.
Oh, because of it's auspicious or whatever, right?
Yeah, because of like we believe in luck. We seriously take like, naming in Thailand we take naming in Thailand very seriously. And I was also nearly named something begin with Chat. My real name is Warisa, right? And people before this king's reign, 5th of the 5th month is Chat Mongkol's day, which is the coronation day of the previous king. So the word Chat is an instrument in the coronation ceremony, and we would name the kids in Thailand who was born that day Chat.
But it's like masculine, right?
No, you can just Chat Nali อะไรอย่างเงี้ย
Oh, but to be honest, I feel like the word chat itself is sort of masculine, so I feel like it's fortunate that you haven't been named any chat.
Yeah, but like my parents was not like a crazy believer of like these kind of things, so they think that chat was a hideous suffix. So they absolutely have the same thought as you, so they named me other things.
Warisa,
yeah.
Duh. So, like we've already talked about, like your name could have changed. Do you think were there any other junctions in your life that if you have chosen a different path, it could have changed the present?
Well, if I was sick in the day I get into our primary school, it would definitely change everything. Well, because I think that our primary school like shaped me who I really am today. They give me like overconfidence, a lot of things, and also nice friends and nice environment.
Oh.
But well, on a more serious note though, I think that if I decided to stay with my grandmother in Buriram, life would have been a lot different too. I would not have been so studious if I am right now.
So moving on to like our second part of this episode, it will be about the present, right? I feel like it's related. I have this question which related to what you've talked about like recently earlier. When did you actually think seriously about your life? When did you like sort of snap and turn into reality?
Well, it was actually when I was P5, like premier grade 5 or grade 6, where I started thinking whether hell is real or not. I was really afraid of hell, doing everything wrong and now get fried into like a giant copper pan. Well, that is the time where I realized that you have to do something in your life in order to make your future bright. Future in the thought of me as a child means afterlife. But then soon after that, when I was about grade 8 or grade 9, I started to realize that why had nobody came back from hell and tell everybody else what it looks like. And I go search in Pantip, which is a very famous like discussion board of Thailand. Like whether
almost like Reddit.
Yeah, almost like Reddit, but people there are psychotic. So go search like whether heaven and hell is real. There's a lot of like replies, but the most common one are like heaven is in your heart, hell is also in your feelings.
Oh my god, that's so cheesy.
And then I go ask my mom, like I would tell her that you told her that you should answer to me frankly whether hell is real or not, heaven is real or not. And my mother said, look, there's no such thing. Okay? There's no such thing. Live your life. And then she was like, I'm going to die too. So, what are you gonna do about that? Huh?
Wow, that's a strong statement.
she was kind of like this, and she was like having a little mental breakdown. Like, if I die, I'm not going to be with you anymore. And that makes me depressed. So, me as a kid, I try to do everything which is like the right thing. Because I feel like having a good life means that you need to do good things which will rewards you in terms of like feeling good about yourself. That I pick up the trash that I see on the street when I was going for a walk.
You're a good kid.
Yeah, and I say nice thing to my sister and my mother. And then I discover a podcast philosophize this, and it really helped me to think a lot about what happened. And I think that I was overdoing things, so I stopped and become the person I really am today.
Just stop trying too hard. Just be whoever you want to be. Also, I feel like those thoughts might contribute to the fact that you really like the series called The Good Place, A Good Place.
Yeah.
Because it's heavily related to heaven, hell, afterlife.
Yeah, I really like The Good Place because it kind of I wish I've seen it when I was like having existential crisis, thinking that life doesn't matter.
So that is your existential crisis?
Yeah, but I still have it constantly when I listen to some sad songs.
I don't know what to comment on that, but cheer up, dude.
But other thing that I feel like was important to our life and probably should be the thing that students relate to more is that the process of thinking, what do I really want to do with like my life academically and in an aspect of your future career path or anything like that. As a child, I always wanted to be a writer because I thought I was good, which I was wrong.
You're good. You're actually
Thank
good.
you.
I believe in you.
Well, because I used to write a story and then back there we don't have iPad. I don't type in computer. I write it in a paper, right? And then my sister read it, not by accident. I intentionally put it there so everybody else can read it. I'm an attention seeker. So she read it and she said, oh, it was very impressive. It was a horror story about Frankenstein or something along that line. And she really liked it. So I think that maybe when I pursue this career in the future, I might be good. But when you grow up, you learn that, you can't follow your dreams. And there's a lot of writers in the market, and doing writing alone will not pay you any money. And also, you can do it as a side career, and I think that's a good choice. So I study more on computer and science probably, and that's when I meet you, right? In computer program.
No, we met before that. We were in the English high ability class before that, so we knew each other. Yeah, I think it came before that because I was in the Cream computer program on the second year of middle school.
Yeah. Oh,
like
that's
the
true.
Sophomore year.
About that program.
Which one?
Cream computer. The first year. Do you remember? There's a kid in the class who is very brilliant. I know he was brilliant. You know who it is.
Yeah, I know who it is.
And we kind of have like a little small quiz in CreamCom, right? When you finish each chapter. And then the teacher made me write a program calculating like students' grade using like if else. And I kind of like, that's not a complicated program, but I was dumb. So I like, if I can't do it, then there's gotta be somebody else who can do it. So I searched in the internet and I look at an algorithm and I wrote it myself. But I finished it before that really smart kid, and that really smart kid couldn't do it. So he was very sad, and he thought I was like a genius or something. But yeah, I think it's time to if he was listening, it's time to know that you are a lot brilliant than me. And he was now one of the computer Olympic team of Thailand.
Oh, maybe that's like a changing point in his life. Like, you're like, Compound is so good. She's my role model. I'm gonna pursue this career and make her proud. Who knows, right?
You know, I think he was a little bit pissed because he was always the first who finished the program in the class, and then this time he couldn't do it. So I saw his line status change into like the previously animated quote or something, and he changed it to "I isn't a winner."
Probably. So, should we just move on to the third section already? Or do you want to add anything else? Okay, so moving on to the future. So, I feel like we should start with something more realistic before we go to something more creative and abstract. What do you think will happen after you die?
Well, good question. Well, first I think that somebody have to come and collect my body. Oh, I wouldn't imagine how I die because that's depressing. But after that, I feel like I would probably write a will for somebody to try and upload my brain into like the cloud or something. But whether it worked or not, I think that the world would be, kind of like goes on without me. But probably if I pursue my writing career throughout my life, someday my loyal friend or family or anybody at all will publish my work. Maybe it'll catch on, or maybe it will be like a very terrible stories that people bring up in literature class to like
criticize.
Butcher. To criticize.
That's interesting. Wow. I've heard there's a company in some countries that preserve people's nervous system in a hope that in the future there might be a technology that could revive them back to life. And it's sort of like freeze your body. You can either freeze just your nervous system or the entire body as well. But it's expensive as hell.
Walt Disney might did that.
Oh, who knows? We just need to investigate more on that. But it's fascinating.
Will you do that if given the chance?
I feel like it's too much. I don't think. Well, maybe if I were a billionaire, I might do that. But currently, I don't think so because I'm not even working. It's gonna be my family's money, so I don't think I should, to be honest.
No, if you are a billionaire,
then I might do that, of course, because if I die, no one's gonna use that money, or if I give that to my family, like ration it out and put the rest into preserving my nervous system, then sure. Like, so what about you?
I don't know, because I think that when I'm old, there's a chance that my nervous system has gone bad. Yeah, it like and like plus freezing it. I don't think it will return in like a good condition when I woke up again in like 3,000 centuries.
Maybe,
3,000
but
centuries.
they said they use like liquid nitrogen or something to preserve it. But yeah, totally understandable.
Okay. Well, I think that's it. That's what happened. The world will go on, and probably the best shot I get is that becoming a famous writer in the future, or probably artist. I don't know. That's the best shot. But the worst shot is that I'm just forgotten like everybody else, and it's not so bad.
So sad.
No, it's actually not so bad. It's like, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Sure. So let's move on to like a brighter. I hope it's a brighter side. Let's be more creative, shall we? What if there were alternative universes that your life could be different from starting from now or whatever? Do you have like any stories that you've come up with?
Oh yeah. First one is the good ending, the bad ending. There's also a dictator ending, an absurd ending, and a simulation ending. Wow. So I'm going to start with something plain first, and just, step up to something crazier. Well, good ending is that I was in New Zealand. I was born in New Zealand. I got a house in New Zealand, marry some New Zealand guy, and live off the land. That's the good ending.
Sure. Simple and okay, good ending. Sure. Let's move on.
Well, the bad ending is that Compound decided that she wanted to be a comedian and suddenly moved to Los Angeles. She wasn't funny, of course. But so she pursued her career of writing relentlessly and ended up living on the street of Los Angeles.
Wow. It's not too bad, but okay, it's bad. It's quite depressing.
Yeah, it's not depressing, but it's quite bad. The next one, the dictator ending. Compound got into a field of politics because one of her friends in certain clubs conspired her to do so. She became a dictator just to simulate 1984 in the real world.
Oh my god. This is the worst.
Well, who knows? I might got a shot.
Why dictatorship though?
Because I really like the book 1984 by George Orwell, but I also think that it's probably too much. It couldn't possibly happen, thought police, that's too much. So maybe if I had a chance to simulate it somewhere, only I wish.
Just simulate it in the real world.
Yeah, but yeah, on to more serious note though, it's down bad, so I would not probably do that. But who knows?
Sure. It's alternative universe. It's an alternative universe. Anything could happen. Okay.
The next one is absurd ending. Compound woke up one day in a very uncomfortable morning from a bad dream, and she discovered that she had become a vermin bug.
What?
Well, her family tried to save her. They put her in the room and give her food from time to time, but Compound couldn't communicate with everybody as a vermin bug. So she finally lost her will to live and decided to kick a bucket.
So I have a question. How did your family notice it's you at first? How did they know that? If suddenly you turn to a bug, I feel like if it were me, I would Compound has disappeared and there's this bug and kill the bug or something. I'm not sure.
Well, because it's the absurd ending.
So they know that you
happen.
Maybe they saw you turn into the bug at the moment, right?
No, I just woke up like that in my own private room, and then suddenly somebody from school might come and ask where I am, and they discovered that a bug replaced me, so they figured that it could probably be me.
Sure, maybe there's letters everywhere and you just have to fly and pick them up, try to communicate with them.
Yeah, that could possibly work, like the Stranger Things, right?
Yeah, exactly. Point this, I am Compound. Or
well, I don't think me as a bug would do that. I would probably fly around feeling sad I couldn't communicate with anybody. And although I'm a beetle, I would be a beetle actually.
Oh, but you could fly.
I don't.
That would be cool.
I don't know. I'll tell you later where I get the inspiration of that. But if any of our listeners figure out where I get the inspiration of this ending, you can send us the email.
Okay, sure.
Okay.
I have no idea, to be honest. I have no idea. So
So the next ending is the simulation ending. Well, this one, I think it's pretty straightforward. I found out that I was a character in the video game that someone with the same name as me developed. I didn't break free, of course, but I successfully made a deal with Compound, the game developer, which made my life very easy in the simulator. I got very bored at the near end of my life, and I was like, man, this was an okay style of living, I guess, but I guess I would have to die because the GM told me so.
So you're a protagonist in the game and I'm just the side character, right? That would be
Oh no, you're the
cool.
AI that didn't realize what you are.
Wow. But still. Great. So there's no like protagonist in the game, like the character that the player plays, or
Oh, it's like The Sims. Basically
just
like
The
it.
Sims.
Yeah.
Oh. Wow.
And I might be like a creator's Easter egg. Sort of like that.
Oh, so cute. That would be cool. And you're like the Deadpool that realized that the world is not real, right?
Yeah. Like Neo in the Matrix in the more Defeso style. Alright. Well, I think that's it for me today. So yeah, I would like to leave a question where I got the absurd ending from. If you can figure it out, you can tell us on.
You can send us your email, your answers at letstalkstupid.stupid@gmail.com, and you can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. It's all Let's Talk Stupid. Also, I feel like, do you have any ending notes you want to, and any conclusion for the listeners as well? Like what you've learned so far and concluded.
I don't think you can learn anything from what I've just said. But on to more serious note though, I've said this multiple times. I think that I've seen a movie Joker, right? I'm not a big fan of it, but I really liked one sentence in the movie which can be interpreted as dark or anything. But he said, I used to think that life is a tragedy, but actually it was a comedy. And I think it's very inspiring if you take it other way around. You see a lot of sitcoms, a lot of funny stories where people face problems and eventually come back and look at it as a joke. So I think that we should take all the sad things in our life, just hold on into it and wait it until it becomes a joke that you can tell.
Nice. Oh, that's great. So that's it for today's episode, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you very much for listening. Bye.
Bye-bye.